Hello, 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 hello. I'm live. I'm live. I'm alive. Oof. Let me see who's in. Who's in the building? Wow, a super chat already. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Hey, and it pops up. Hey, see that? Look at that. That is ace. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. I'm really, really chuffed with that. Thank you. Thank you anyway. Guys and stuff with cheeky. Let me get rid of the cat. Sorry, our cat. Oh, how are we doing? How are we doing? Are we all doing fine and dandy? Let's have a quick look through here. Doopy doopy doo. Turtle moves. Hello there, turtle moves. Who else have we got? Turtle moves. Do do do. Hello there, Morris as well. Hello, hello, hello there, cheeky. And I think that's about it. Yeah, it's working. Thank you. It's thank you so much for that. That's brilliant. Thank you. I've not had one for a while because my channel got demonetized and all that malarkey. You know all about that. If my chair squeaks, I do apologise. Mrs. Jones has ordered me. Earthly Skeptic, how you doing? How you doing? Thanks for all your work. It is very, very much appreciated. Thank you. Um, Yeah, what was I going to say? Yes, Mrs. Jones has ordered me a chair, and it should be delivered either today or tomorrow, which is at work tonight till 8 o'clock. So I probably won't get it until tomorrow. I don't think she's coming up tonight, but I'm hoping to get it tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is, as soon as I get the chair, I'm going to do a video of me building the chair. I'm going to open it up to patrons and channel members first, and then a couple of days later, I'm going to open it up to everybody, if that's all right. Yeah, Earthly Skeptic, fantastic. He does some really good work, Earthly Skeptic. Morris, hello everybody. Turtle Moose, doing tickety boo. Lovely jubbly. Everybody's having a grand old time. Yes, one of my videos got, I think it was last week's Sunday Stupid, got removed because I'm not going to say his name because uh, I can't. If I do say his name, right, he's just going to, whatever, he's just going to have me live stream taken down or demonetized or what have you. But there's a frauditor who doesn't like free speech. And even though I dubbed his voice out of my previous video, he and he picked up on like a 1 second thing where his voice was heard, and I silenced that, I overdubbed that, and I cut that bit out, and he's still done it, and my video got removed. I hate that. I do hate that. I'm not saying anything that's not true. I'm not saying anything that's not been said before. But obviously, frauditors don't like free speech, do they? So, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? Pain in the ass. I've got 7 viewers currently. That's fantastic. That is really, really good. Really, really good. As you may or may not know, I did go on Atheist Junior's channel. Great guy. Go and sub to him if you're not sub to him. I did go on Atheist Junior. We had a bit of a chat, and he's put it up on his channel, and I've put it up on mine, so you can go and have a watch of that. We had a really good, interesting chat about the perils of young Earth creationism and the crap that they spew. He's a Nimrod. Yeah. What else? What else have I got to say? Yeah, I can't thank everybody enough who likes and comments and subscribes, and especially patrons and channel members and everybody. It's amazing that the support that you give to me is really, really appreciated, and it just staggers me, to be honest. It really does, and it's lovely to see. You know, we're building up, you know, a really nice, good, friendly community, and I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying the live streams as well. Even though I was a little bit nervous at first, but you know, I'm getting used to it now. I've got it down to setting up the live stream. I've got it down to about 20 minutes, I think, setting it all up and everything, because I use my iPhone as a webcam. Anyway, you've heard enough of me talking. Let's get on with this, shall we? 9 concurrent views. Fantastic, brilliant. Right, let's get on with it. Dog Walker, hello, hello. Another fantastic friend of the channel. It's brilliant. It really is good to see. Mary, hey Mary, how are you doing, Mary? Mary is, of course, quite contrary. I'm not sure how a garden grows, but I'm sure it grows very well. Anyway, yeah. See how long. Over Creaky's stream. Oh no, Creaky's streaming. Oh bugger. Oh, I don't like going over other channels' streams, but anyway, we're going to do it anyway. Let's do that. I did promise it, and you know, I know me and Creaky might share some subscribers, but you know, it is what it is. And Creaky, if you're watching, I doubt it, but if you're watching, keep up the. He's a fantastic content creator. Creaky, I can't speak highly enough of Creaky and what he does. He's just amazing. He's really, really amazing. Yeah, Elon Musk, I am going to fight against the strikes. Because what I do is I'm really quite careful of what I do in my videos, by way of, you know, editing them and making sure that my video is longer than theirs. So I'll cut out certain bits like the intro and others. So you know, it is what it is. About 25 minutes. I'm going to carry on until about 8 o'clock, or at least until this bit's done, because I don't want to do this in 3 parts. But anyway, let's crack on with this, shall we? You once said that. Let's go back. This is where it finished from last week.
What caused us to evolve from literal fish to land-dwelling animals, all the way up from Lucy, all the way up to mankind. Well, is this it? Are we done evolving? No. I don't want to take up all the time. I'm going to turn it back over to you.
But Lucy wasn't the first land dweller, was she? No, that was it. Tiktaalik came onto the land first, and then you know, and then we evolved into what we are today. He gets evolution awfully wrong, doesn't he? He once said that rocks conceived. Do you still believe that? Or evolution teaches that rocks conceived?
Well, actually, we know that evolution teaches that, because it is, like I said earlier, it's defined as chemical evolution. And then,
so rocks conceived, did they? Rocks produced egg, and rocks produced sperm, somehow in the same thing, and then conceived. No, he doesn't know about transitional fossils.
A paper that actually explains this. So I'm going to go to the paper right now, actually. A paper that explains how we descended, that we wouldn't even be here. The title of the paper is that you owe your life to a rock, Mr. Jones. And of course, this is one of the things that you brought up in your videos as a supposed lie that Matt Powell and Kent Hovind spew, but it is common knowledge. I'm going to look it up here.
Yeah, look it up, Matt.
The title of the paper is, You Owe Your Life to a Rock.
I should have picked up on this first time round. I should have picked up on it, because the title of the paper is you owe your life to rock, not you owe your life to a rock. I should have picked up on it.
This is the title of the paper. You owe your life to a rock. The title of the paper is, You Owe Your Life to a Rock. How is
Computer technician Matt still doesn't know how headphones work, how microphones work, how speakers work. If you've got your feed coming out of speakers, it's going to go into your microphone. I mean, for goodness sake. Yes, I've heard the term "get me rocks off," yeah, but that's something entirely different and entirely disgusting. Shame on you, Elon. Shame on you. How are you doing, Gregory? How are you doing?
Oops. All right. Sorry about that. You owe your life to a rock. Let me get this back over here. Sorry about that. Okay.
I can't see that.
Let's see. You owe your life to a rock.
No, it doesn't say that at all. I should have, like I say, my favourite rock is AC/DC. You owe your life to rock. That's what it says. And nowhere, I've read that paper, and nowhere does it say that a rock conceived anywhere.
Long ago set the stage for multicellular organisms. Check this out. This is literally what your theory is saying. It says, thank goodness for granite. This is how the article starts out. Thank goodness for granite. You know what? I would thank God for life, not rock. Thank God that we're alive. Thank goodness for granite. If not for the...
Thank God for life. Right. Well, show us that God exists then. Show me some evidence. Show anybody.
Subsequent erosion of large quantities of metal-rich granite on a supercontinent. What is going on? If not for the formation. All right, check this out. Multicellular life would not exist. These heavy metal elements, Mr. Jones, had to erode from the granite that somehow came here by chance, a rock that we can't create on purpose, somehow created itself by chance. And then when it was raining for 2 million years, it eroded the rocks to a point where multicellular life would now be able to use those chemical compounds to survive. That is what evolution teaches. That is chemical evolution. That is the fundamental of the theory.
But it's not what evolution teaches, because it's not a part of evolution. It's abiogenesis. I mean, come on. Come on. Yeah, they do strawman it. Yes, they do. Exactly. It's exactly the same with Mary Schweitzer's paper and her discoveries. Her paper gets strawmanned to absolute death by young Earth creationists, and not one of them's read it. Yeah, I'm looking at you, standing for truth. Ass.
I'd have to read that again. I did read it once, but I'd have to read that again to make sure.
Heavy elements came from
it
the
is
ground.
What we're saying. So I'm not
some
lying.
Of the,
you accuse me of lying.
Life are already on this planet, though.
What's that?
Some of the ingredients for life are already on this planet.
Say that one more time.
Some of the ingredients were already on this planet.
Yes, but the ingredients for life would not have assembled themselves if it weren't for the heavy metal elements that came out of the granite rock when it was being rained on for 2 million years, according to the model. So single life. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
I was going to say, so single-celled organisms could exist without it, but multicellular organisms, according to evolution, could not have existed, according to this paper, could not have existed unless these...
So how do we get multicellular organisms? We get multicellular organisms from single-celled organisms. They clump together. I've watched Gutsick Gibbon earlier on, and they were they clumped together, and then they formed something, and then they formed something else. Some of them reproduced, and etc. etc. Fascinating stuff with Gutsick Gibbon. She's amazing.
From the rocks. So when you come on here and say nobody believes, or when you get on your channel, nobody believes that we came from rocks, that's just a lie. You're just hearing that from other atheist YouTubers, because this is what evolution teaches. If evolution teaches that the Earth was a hot molten ball of rock, and then it rained on the rocks for millions of years, and out of that soup came me and you over generations and variations, that is what evolution teaches then, is that we evolved from rocks, that we descended from the chemical elements contained in these rocks.
Oh, so now he's changed it. He's saying we evolved from rocks, and then he's saying, well, we evolved from chemical elements contained in the rocks. So which one is it? He's going about saying, you know, evolution teaches that we evolved from rocks, that rocks conceived. I don't know how they conceive, but, you know, not having a willy or a vag, I don't know how they can conceive. So he's coming out with so many different things. I don't understand. I don't think he knows exactly what he's saying. He's trying to get it all out and fast.
So that is the model.
I'll have to read up on that.
True, Morris,
I didn't anticipate that question.
But isn't it just? I'm not trying to be down on you, Mr. Jones, but isn't
I
it
know
kind
you're
of, isn't it kind of not a good thing to get on video and to bash me and say Matt Powell's a liar? He's just making all this stuff up. He's disgusting. When I have sources for everything that I brought forth today.
I only called Matt Powell disgusting, and why have I frozen? Yeah, I only called Matt Powell disgusting when he came out with the blaming the Columbine shootings on atheists and evolution and calling evolution a religion of death. That's all. That's all I did.
Claim that you said I've lied about. I've brought sources forward for.
Why have I frozen?
So I would just encourage you to make sure to do research before you jump onto discussions like this, and don't call me a liar for making a certain claim that has been verified in this discussion, because it is a true claim. This is the model.
The rock thing, no, I don't believe for 1 second, no, because I think you're oversimplifying. Because you said on video that a rock. You said on video.
I was quoting a paper.
You said on video that a rock conceived.
There we go.
What I said was.
Can you tell me how a rock conceives?
Can you say that again? I can barely hear you. Are you asking me about how a rock conceives?
Well, one thing, Matt, Mr. Computer Engineer, is plug some headphones in, like I did. I heard you perfectly. You're not telling me that you can't hear me. All the audience can hear me perfectly, apart from Matt Powell.
A rock, they believe, your exact words, they believe a rock conceived.
Correct.
You tell me how you tell me how a rock can conceive.
I don't believe it can conceive.
But you said it did.
But here, okay, but no, your model is claiming that it did because it rained.
No, it isn't. No, it is not.
You said it did.
On the rock, and the rock, within that rock, heavy elements came out, and then we evolved from those heavy elements. That means that we were conceived from rocks. It's not hard to figure out.
Not conceived at all. It's a total misrepresentation. You're trying to oversimplify things, and it's ridiculous.
It is not a misrepresentation.
It is complete misrepresentation.
Well,
you said a rock conceived. How does a rock conceive?
Then let the viewers decide. The viewers can pull up the article for themselves that says in the title, you owe your life to a rock. That's the title.
I'll read the paper. But I'm asking you right now, how does a rock conceive?
You tell me. I don't believe that it did.
What does it say in the paper that a rock conceived? What does it say in the theory of evolution that a rock conceived?
At this point, we're just arguing hermeneutics. You're moving the goalposts.
I'm not moving the goalposts at all. I'm not moving the goalposts at all.
I've explained.
How am I moving the goalposts, right? When he is citing a scientific paper, and he is saying that evolution teaches that a rock conceived. I'm asking him where in this paper does a rock how does a rock conceive? So how is that moving the goalposts? It's not. It can't be.
Many times.
Gentlemen,
many times.
Gentlemen, let's relax. Let's try to do it one at a time here.
That's fair enough. You mentioned rocks. You said a rock conceived on one of your videos. You said that this is the theory of evolution. This is what it teaches. A rock conceived. You tell me where in the theory of evolution does it say a rock conceived?
The reason that we know that according to evolution, a rock would have conceived is because, and I've explained this many times, I'm going to explain it one more time and then I'm done. Because these heavy chemical elements that were contained in the rocks.
How you doing, Welchie? How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Don't work too hard. Don't work too hard. Yeah, Matt's moving the goalposts here. Let's just go back just a touch.
Conceived.
The reason that we
right.
You mentioned rocks.
On this many
there
times.
we go.
Gentlemen,
many times.
Gentlemen, let's relax. Let's try to do it one at a time here.
That's fair enough. You mentioned rocks. You said a rock conceived on one of your videos. You said that this is the theory of evolution. This is what it teaches. A rock conceived. You tell me, where in the theory of evolution does it say a rock conceived?
The reason that we know that according to evolution, a rock would have conceived is because, and I've explained this many times, I'm going to explain it one more time and then I'm done. Because these heavy chemical elements that were contained in the rocks were rained on and were eroded out of the rocks. And then those heavy chemical elements were what made our life possible. So yes, the title of the article is "You Owe Your Life to a Rock," and that is what they are saying. They say, thank goodness for granite, or we wouldn't be here.
You owe your life to rock. I think that's what he's trying to say. But obviously he's dishonest, isn't he?
Rocks. They're saying that life came about via spontaneous generation, via soup. And you said that the RNA world was a good mechanism to rely on. That's the one that I personally buy into, is the RNA world hypothesis, which I debunked just about 30 minutes ago, just by reading the paper that say that DNA and sunlight and water destroys DNA. So how is life going to assemble itself in sunlight and water on
Not
rocks?
our model at all.
Explain that to me.
Well, I still haven't had an answer about how a rock conceived. And where does it say?
I've answered you 3 times.
No, you didn't.
3 times on this.
No, you didn't. How does a rock conceive? How does a rock produce an egg?
Mr. Jones, I'm not going to answer you again. I will say
How does a rock produce an egg? How does a rock produce sperm? How does a rock reproduce?
A rock.
How does it reproduce?
A rock conceived RNA via erosion of the.
A rock conceived RNA? What? What? I was getting too much. Right, I should have picked up on this again. There's tons and tons I should have picked up on, but this one, oh my lordy. Oh my lordy.
Erosion of the chemical analysis, the chemicals, the heavy elements in this article that were eroded, that somehow conceived, that somehow assembled themselves in sunlight and water, the very thing that destroys DNA. I can't even believe that we have to have discussions like this, because you should be able to just say, okay, you know what? Sunlight and water destroys DNA. I'm throwing it out. But you'll still sit here and argue, well, why are you saying a rock conceived? I'm not saying a rock conceived. There are people out there. What's that?
You said it on one of your videos.
I said that these people think a rock conceived. In fact, I have college students.
You've not shown any evidence to back it up.
College students telling me that they believe rocks conceived over God created the universe.
Name one.
I was at Arizona State University, and I interviewed them. And in fact, I could show you the interviews of them saying, yeah, we believe we came from rocks.
Oh, please do. Please do a video about it.
I will release a video about it pretty quick here, because I feel like it should be put out there in the public. I was actually going to wait till a film that I was going to.
And he hasn't. He's done that. He's done that thing where he does a street activism. Him and the 2 other stooges. He's done that one. I'm going to cover that. I'm going to cover that particular video.
But look, the mutation through selection process and the abiogenesis soup has been thoroughly debunked. I debunked it just by using some basic scientific papers. The Bible says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Not in the beginning, nothing exploded and somehow, or nothing rapidly expanded faster than any explosion in history, which is an explosion by definition, and created everything that we see around us in the world today. It is.
No, let me go back. What is he saying about
process? And the abiogenesis soup has been thoroughly debunked. I debunked it just by using some basic scientific papers. The Bible says, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Not in the beginning, nothing exploded and somehow, or nothing rapidly expanded faster than any explosion in history, which is an explosion by definition. And
yeah, I'm not afraid of you. Yeah, I've done that one. What he's saying is a rapid expansion is the same as an explosion. No, it isn't, Mr. Powell. No, it isn't. If I blow up a balloon, is it rapidly expanding or is it exploding? There is a huge difference between an expansion and an explosion. An expansion carries on going. An explosion, boom, done. Oh, what a dishonest turd.
The world today.
Couldn't
It
debunk
is
a bit.
absolutely false. It has been falsified. And people that would speak of this in an honest manner should just throw it away. Throw the hypothesis of evolution away, Mr. Jones. Accept that which is demonstrated to be true, that which is demonstrated to be fact. And that is creationism, creation science. The world was created. God loves you.
Creation
He
science.
died for you. He came here 2,000 years ago, died on a cross, was buried and rose again for your sins and my sins. And he wants you to go to heaven with me. I want you to go to heaven with me. I don't want you to go to hell. Now, look, I understand we're just trying to keep this as a general discussion, but I think we should probably just wrap it up. You have provided no evidence for evolution in this entire discussion. You never answered one of my talking points.
Yes,
I
I
answered
have.
everything that you said. I literally answered everything that you said.
Hang on. I want some evidence for God.
I gave you evidence for God. Time, space,
No,
and
you
matter
didn't.
being
Time,
here right
space,
now
and
is
matter. No, I want evidence for your God.
Well, I've done videos on this explaining that there are only two concepts of religion. There's people who work their way to heaven, and there's people who trust Christ as Savior. Every other religion teaches a work salvation. My faith is in Christ and in the done religion, the one who said that he paid it all when he died for my sins, past, present, and future.
But faith is
So there
belief,
are only
isn't
two
it?
religions. There's only two concepts. So it's not hard to figure out.
But faith is belief, isn't it? Faith is
Yeah.
belief without evidence.
False. Faith is defined as a confidence or trust in someone or something. Look it up in a dictionary. Don't
Okay, then.
misdefine
That's
faith.
no problem. But I'm still not seeing any evidence for God here.
Wait, you just
Your
misdefi-
God.
Wait a minute. You just misdefined faith. Faith is defined as a confidence or trust
Yeah,
in someone or
I admitted that.
something. It is not believing things without evidence. You've been listening to too much Aron Ra, my friend. You've been listening to too much Mr. Larry Nelson. That comes right out of his mouth. That was just repeated,
He's
regurgitated
not called
stuff.
Larry.
If you would have looked at a dictionary, you would have known that. But instead, you're watching, you're trusting YouTubers to tell you the truth instead of trusting fact.
Is it me, or is Matt Powell's cheeks getting redder by the second?
Do we have any more to say?
So, where's
I
your
think
proof
we
of
should have
God?
closing. I think maybe
Where's
we
your
should
proof?
just-
Hang on. You don't
Okay.
get to run this debate. So,
Well-
where is your proof for your God? Where is your proof for heaven?
I've already said it several times, but I'll say it one more time. The fact that time, space, and matter exists is proof that it either A, came into existence via magic, uncaused, or that B, somebody caused it.
And where does
Whatever
it say
created
that?
time, space, and matter had to be outside of time, space, and matter. Timeless, spaceless, and immaterial. And if it is timeless, spaceless, and immaterial, and could bring something as big as the ocean itself on this earth into existence, that requires power and intelligence. To be able to design life requires power and intelligence, i.e. intelligent design. It
In
is
your
true.
opinion.
No, okay, explain to me how 1 out of 100,000 million chances happen by chance. Simultaneously.
I'm still waiting for evidence for heaven. I'm still waiting for evidence for God. Simply saying that time, space, and matter exist
Fair enough.
is not good enough for me. Simply
Well, if it's
saying
not
it
good
says it in the
enough for you,
Bible isn't good enough for me.
That's okay. Then that's on you. That's not on me. I already explained the model. If you want to reject the model, that's fine.
I'm not rejecting the model. I'm asking for
Guys,
evidence of the model.
Gentlemen, we were doing a 30-minute open discussion, and then it went way over 30 minutes. And I appreciate you both having patience and endurance for that, but it's just going to go on and on and on. So, do we want to get to
Yeah, who created God?
closing
Yeah,
statements?
exactly.
Do we want to do a Q&A? How you guys
I'm
feel?
okay with Q&A, me.
Q&A sounds good. Do we have any questions in the chat?
I don't think anybody
we should
watched
have a
it, to be
closing.
honest.
We should just have closing statements. Just a real quick wrap up. You want to just do 2 minutes, Mr. Jones? 2 minutes each?
No, I'd rather go into Q&A.
All right, fair enough.
Why is Powell trying to run this debate? I thought we had a moderator, moderated by Brett Keane, for example, who is Matt Powell's personal assistant. Yeah, Brett wakes up now. Yeah, I think he got off the toilet just in time.
Would you have any issue if I ask any questions?
Not at all.
Okay. Mr. Jones, if it is not your belief that you come from rocks, then what did you come from if there was no God to guide it?
I explained it earlier on. I don't know much about it, and I said this earlier on. I think that the RNA first is probably the best theory of where we came from.
Okay, let's see.
But that's abiogenesis. That's not evolution.
Okay. Does anyone out there have a question that they want to ask? I mean, I myself, I have questions, but I want to give other people an opportunity.
Do you mean you want to... There's Brett saying he wanted to give other people an opportunity, and nobody watched it. Nobody watched the debate. They only watched it afterwards. Crazy. I think there were... I remember Mr. 42 popping in, and I remember somebody else popping in as well. So, you know... But nobody watched it, to be honest. And I think that's why Matt wanted it on this channel, because he knows perfectly well that nobody is going to watch this debate. And then, of course, he posted it, edited it, and posted it on his own channel, edited it, and then posted it on Kent Ovin's channel. You see, but on Kent Ovin's channel, there was a lot of people going, saying, "Whoa, Matt, you didn't win this debate at all. You didn't win it."
I'm looking through here. We've got someone called V57 that says that they want to ask a question.
Who to?
All right, while we're waiting for this person to do it so you guys ain't held up, you guys were talking about the surfing monkey incident earlier, right? You
Yeah.
said you guys were saying over 900 miles there was this floating debris that basically, according to you, had lettuce and plants on it, and the monkeys were eating the very thing that they were floating on. Now,
No.
my memory serves me right, doesn't salt water destroy lettuce and any of this material that you speak of?
I didn't say.
Look at Powell there laughing. See, I had a back and forth with Brett Keane on my latest one for the past couple of days. And I've mentioned underneath that even with the comment right there in front of him, my comment right there in front of him, he still couldn't get what I was saying. He still misunderstood what I was saying. What a complete arse. And he's got Matt Powell here giggling like a little schoolgirl because of something I said fruits and vegetables contain water. That's probably what they would have lived off. You know, I didn't say that they were floating on lettuce and they ate the lettuce. I didn't say that at all. He's got problems, Brett Keane. He's got major problems. Bladder problems. Yeah, bladder problems. Yeah, fat basket. Thought I was fat.
How would you like to respond to that?
I said a floating land mass. And I wish me opening statement of the video was working properly, but it wasn't. But I showed a massive landmass floating down the.
Yeah, you can see. I can, you know, I put. I had salt to potatoes and stuff. Doesn't melt potatoes either.
Panama Canal back in 2010, and it still had upright trees on it. And this landmass, it could have just snapped away. I'm not saying it could be several meters thick. This landmass that snapped away, but we just simply don't know.
Yeah, you use it as a preservative. Yeah.
Do you mind if I comment on it real quick, Brett?
Of course, this is you guys' debate. You do things the way you want.
Sure. So, you know, this whole theory that monkeys, you know, surfed on vegetation mats from Africa to South America 34 million years ago. Again, the study is actually based on a fossil. And Mr. Jones, you obviously referenced this at the beginning of our debate or discussion.
Yeah.
That, you know, it's based on these fossils of these teeth that we found, these molars. The problem is that fossilization, again, is about conditions, number one. And then number two, it would have been catastrophically buried somehow. So even if they did ride across there on a raft, somehow they were catastrophically buried to the point where their teeth were able to be preserved. And so, you know, just saying, well, we found some fossils of a certain animal over in South America that didn't exist in.
Yeah, Murray, it was less than 1,000 miles, I think. Back then, it was less than 1,000 miles. But what I do in a few minutes is corner Matt Powell.
In South America, they existed in Africa. That means that they must have floated across. You know, I am willing to submit maybe they floated across, but in a catastrophic event, and they were buried catastrophically, which is why we find the fossils.
Your guess is as good as mine, Steve, because what I've noticed about different, I don't, right, maybe somebody can explain this to me, right? Why are there different like denominations in Christianity? Why have we got Roman Catholics, Protestants, young earth creationists, Mormons, etc., etc.? Don't they all worship the same God? Don't they all like read the same Bible? I don't understand it. I just don't understand it whatsoever. And this is how religious wars start. My invisible sky daddy is more powerful than your invisible sky daddy. Boom, 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 boom. Let's have a fight.
Survive. We find them trying to get on vegetation mats to survive. Yeah, they were running from the flood of Noah. They were trying to survive, and they were catastrophically buried. So it perfectly fits my model. So no matter how this game could be played, it will not go the evolutionist way.
So how did kangaroos get to Australia from Turkey?
Well, for one, am I allowed to answer that question, Brett?
You guys are more than welcome to do whatever you like with it.
Yeah, for one, the sea level would have been much lower. If you lower the sea level after the flood, obviously it would have been land bridges everywhere. So it would be no problem for kangaroos to be able to simply hop there. It would have...
Right, so he's just said there would have been land bridges everywhere, apart from South Africa to South America. No land bridges there, but everywhere else. And kangaroos are going to hop like 6,000 miles from like Turkey to Australia. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, this is straight after the flood. Remember, this is straight after the flood. Water's rescinded. All the plants and all the vegetation has been washed away. There's no fresh water because that's all mixed in with the salt water. And they've lasted, these kangaroos and these slower marsupials have lasted for 6,000 miles without any food or fresh water. Wow.
So that would be my answer to that.
So why is it implausible for monkeys to get from Africa to South America and not implausible for kangaroos to get from Turkey to Australia?
Because they hopped.
Yeah,
there.
where
They
does it
didn't
go?
ride on
Yeah,
a raft,
exactly.
Mr. Jones. They walked. They hopped. They hopped across while the water was subducted. It wasn't as high as it is today. The sea level hadn't risen as much. Remember, this is post-flood, immediate post-flood. They would have been able to get there.
So the sea levels were lower from Turkey to Australia, but they weren't lower from Africa. They were only lower in one part of the world.
You're conflating two different models. So the creation model says that there was a flood. The evolution model says that the present is the key to the past. So remember, you have uniformitarianism, which means that these monkeys would have surfed across on water because remember, it's peaceful voyage, right?
Second best, Bob. How you doing, my friend? How you doing? I hope you're doing well.
According to evolution. But according to my model, the way that those kangaroos would have gotten to Australia, they would have simply went via land bridges that would connect from Australia to Turkey, if you will. And so that would be the best answer on that.
So
best answer. So what he's actually saying is there's no evidence for it. He's just saying it's his best answer.
Marsupials as well, the koala bears, and they hop there as well, did they?
I'm not. What did you say? I'm sorry.
Are you guys
the
ready?
Marsupials, the other marsupials, the koala bears, they hop there as well.
Well, if there's land connecting, it wouldn't be implausible at all. They travel. Animals travel.
So why couldn't there have been land connecting Africa to South America?
Because in the model, and I could pull up what the continents looked like back then, the continents would have looked like this 65 million years ago. Let me pull it up here. Let me just pull it over here.
Yeah.
This is what the continents would have looked like. So there were no land bridges that you can see here.
So where are the land bridges from Turkey to Australia?
Mr. Jones, I've explained this.
No, he didn't, did he? Look at him. He's going redder by the second here, and he knows he's cornered. He knows it. He's going to try and dismiss it in a second. I think, if memory serves.
On that, on your,
and isn't this a Q&A where the viewers ask us questions, right? So maybe we should.
this,
He's
yeah,
trying to
but
get out of it
I
now,
know,
isn't he?
no. You don't get away with it that easily.
I
You've
continuously
you've
answer
got that
this.
slide up. You have got that slide up now, and you've just said that land masses don't exist between Africa and South America. You can't see any.
65 million years ago. This is
But
what
I can't see any land masses
during that time.
But I can't see any land masses from Turkey to Australia.
Yes, because this is an evolutionary assumption page. This is an evolutionary assumption picture. This is how they think it looked back then before.
All right, then. Well, show me a picture with some land. Show me a picture with some landmass between Turkey and Australia.
Look, I'm not. Look, I'm showing you what your model is proposing here via 65 million years ago. I don't know if you can.
And I'm asking you for evidence of your model.
I've given you evidence of my model.
No, you haven't. Where are the land masses from Turkey to Australia?
And we have to, Mr. Jones, in this discussion, then we have to agree to disagree, and we have to move on. I'm sure there's.
No, I'm asking you. You've just tried debunking the Africa to South America. I'm going to debunk now this Turkey to Australia business.
Gentlemen.
Where are the land masses from Turkey to Australia? This is your model. Show evidence of your model.
Okay.
Second best Bob, it's on Kent Horvin's channel, it's on Matt Powell's channel, and it's on Brett Keen's channel, God TV Radio. The one that you want to watch is probably the one I've got it on my channel. So what I would advise is, because the version that I've got on my channel is unedited. The version on Kent Horvin's channel is edited, and the version on Matt Powell's channel is edited. But what you've got on my channel is a totally unedited version of mine and Matt Powell's discussion.
You're seeing on the screen right now.
I didn't say it was your model. I said from Turkey to Australia. You said from Turkey to Australia there are land masses, and a kangaroo hopped from Turkey to Australia, and I want some evidence for that.
Gentlemen, this is the Q&A section of it for people to be able to ask the folks in the show questions. And I will say this is not Matt Powell's page. He's showing you what the evolutionists are saying. That is what he said 3 times. I don't know if you guys are hearing each other clearly or what's happening here.
Here we go. Brett Keen defending Matt Powell. Am I being stupid? Am I being wrong here? Matt Powell hasn't shown any evidence for land masses between Turkey and Australia. He hasn't shown any. He certainly hasn't shown any thermal imaging stuff or any, what it would have looked like 6,000 years ago or whenever the flood was. Or am I being... I don't know. Have I missed something? I don't think I have.
This was said 3 times.
But let me ask yet again, this is his model. Kangaroos got from Turkey to Australia hopping on land masses. Where is the evidence for this?
I've already explained it. After the flood, post-flood, the sea level would have been much lower. And if you bring the sea level lower, even just a few hundred feet, you're going to start to see land everywhere. So that
even in the Atlantic.
Well, I provided plenty of proof for the flood. I don't need to provide you with evidence. I can provide you with proof of the flood.
Well, you just made a claim, so provide some evidence.
Post-flood, that's what we would predict. That's what we would predict post-flood because of the water still running off of the...
Right, so where are the land masses?
They're under the water now. Look, I'm not going to keep answering this question. I've answered this question now 4 times. We need to move on. We need to be professional.
If you'd have shown evidence, I wouldn't need to keep asking, would I? But you'd not shown any evidence. And now he's saying that we've got to move on. He's trying to run this debate. He's a dick. Absolute dick.
Right, so where are the land masses?
They're under the water now. Look, I'm not going to keep answering this question. I've answered this question now 4 times. We need to move on. We need to be professional, and we need to move on.
No, I'm
to the
asking
Q&A.
for evidence of the land masses. You've shown
Right.
no evidence for these land masses
May
whatsoever.
guys, the thing that I'm not understanding in here is you're saying you're wanting these land masses from a site that's about evolution, but the issue is we were originally talking about surfing monkeys, not land masses and all this close together. It's the scientists that are claiming that it was 900 miles they traveled. So,
George, how are you doing, my friend? How are you doing?
from either one of you, if you don't mind me asking, what does this have to do with the surfing monkeys?
Well, it is to do with
Well, it has
surfing
nothing.
monkeys.
It has nothing to do with it. It really has nothing to do with it. It comes down to repeating arguments that he's heard from other YouTubers about the problem of kangaroos getting to.
Don't make assumptions about me.
Ooh, I get annoyed now.
I don't really have anything else to say on this. I think we've tried to talk about it. We need to just agree to move on, Mr. Jones.
Right, you said this is your slide here.
Yeah, he wants to move on because he knows he's losing.
So I want to see some land masses between.
It was 65 million years ago.
Right, well, go further forward in time then. If there is between.
Hey, another super chat, and it worked. The thing came up there. Fantastic. How much was it? Let me see. 199. Earth the Skeptic, thank you so much. Thank you.
There will be some pictures of them, or there will be a computer model of that. So
Mr. Jones, we have to move on. We have people in the Q&A that are asking questions.
Fair enough. Right, you don't want to answer the question. That's absolutely fine. No problem.
I've answered it 4 times. Okay.
All right.
You
The next question is this, ladies and gentlemen. In the debate, in the discussion, live discussion, however you want to refer to it, there was a comment made about lightning hitting some area of the earth and somehow sparking life into existence. What did the lightning hit that caused life to come into existence?
Water. Apparently, that's one of the theories.
So what kind of water was this that the lightning hit?
I'd probably take a guess at H2O.
I don't think Brett Keane knows that I was being sarcastic then. I don't think he picked up on that at all. Powell certainly doesn't. I mean, look at his stupid gormless face there. Probably H2O. How are you doing, Bruce D? How are you doing?
So my answer to this would be that it's completely opposite. What the evolution model is saying is completely opposite to that of reality and to what the Bible says. The Bible says that life began on the land and that God breathed into man's nostrils the breath of life and he became a living soul. And so our model teaches that it began on land. Their model teaches that it began on water.
Exactly, Skeptic.
The reason we know
exactly.
it couldn't have happened. Notice the wording here, could not have happened in the water. And it is falsified is because DNA breaks down in sunlight and water. RNA is pre-DNA. And if the prebiotic process contained water, by definition, it's going to scatter the DNA molecules and not assemble them.
I guess the next question we'd have to ask then, either one
Brett,
of you.
do we have any questions from the chat? I don't want it to just be.
Yeah, I'm trying to look over here on the screen over on this. Let's see.
He's trying so hard to get out of this now, isn't he? He's trying so hard to get out of it.
Now there's a couple people sitting here talking about Russia and the Ukraine right now. There was someone who had asked this question. Let me put it up.
There's Mr. 42 there. Matt, you claimed a possible land bridge. Got any evidence? There you go. Well done, Mr. 42.
Yeah, I can see it. It's just small on the screen. What does it say? Matt, you claimed something? Matt, you claimed a possible land bridge. Got any evidence? So it's the same question that Mr. Jones asked.
No,
the evidence is that after the flood, post-flood, immediately after, that the sea level was lower. And if you lower the sea level, even just a few hundred feet, there are land bridges everywhere. The sea level is increasing over time or it was increasing over time via the water running off of the mountains and off of the land. It would increase the sea level. And so it's not
So if there's a global flood, it would cover all the mountains, wouldn't it? Like, I don't know who said it in the chat earlier on, like, where does that water go to? If there's a global flood and it's covered everything, where does it go to? Crikey. Bit of a problem there.
However, that's the answer.
Okay. Okay, do we want to do closing statements? Because apparently people got sidetracked about the Ukraine and Russia.
All right, we should do closings. You can go first, Mr. Jones.
No, you go first. I went first on the opening.
Okay, well, how long should we go for, Brad? Just a couple minutes?
You guys do what you feel on it.
All right, I'm going to go for 2 minutes. So let me see here. So overall, I think a good discussion. I want to thank Mr. Jones for challenging me to defend my position on these matters. I do want to encourage people that look into this stuff. And look, I hope I haven't come off as condescending or something. It's just that when I hear so many falsehoods in one discussion or so many lies, I feel like I have to, and I'm compelled by what the Bible tells me to do, which is to seek and promote truth, to simply point out the errors. And I think that I've done that today. I think that the evolution model really does not have the answers. I know it doesn't have the answers. Mutation via selection, creating these populations over generations is false. It is falsified. It proves that in the beginning, we started with a perfect genetic code, and then it got corrupted. And then mutations have accumulated over time, decreasing the lifespan. We die from mutations. And so I think
we died from mutations. What? What? We died from mutations? Really? No.
Important to point out that the Big Bang model is false. To claim that all matter existed in an energy form in an infinitesimally small dot is beyond absurd. And
gets the Big Bang Theory wrong again. Even though he wanted this build, he messaged me on Twitter. He private messaged me on Twitter and said, let's bill it as creation versus evolution. I'm not sure, and I may be being thick here, I'm not sure where the Big Bang Theory fits into the theory of evolution. Or am I just being thick?
In order for it to be science, it has to be demonstrable, testable, and repeatable. And like I said, if I'm wrong on any of these matters, I am compelled by reason to change. And that's the difference between my model and Mr. Jones's model, is that evolution, they're always going to come up with rescue devices for it. When you point out, okay, water could not have been what life started in because water scatters RNA, it scatters DNA. In fact, when the FBI does research on people that have died, when they do forensics, they look at somebody that died in water versus somebody that died in fire. The person that died in fire is actually, they can trace the DNA better because fire doesn't scatter the DNA molecules as much as water does. Water scatters DNA. When somebody dies in water, it's hard a lot of times for forensic people to identify.
Angel, hello. Hello, Angel.
It scatters the DNA. That means that life is more likely to start. Abiogenesis, the theory he was proposing in this discussion, is more likely to happen in a grill, a hot, fiery grill, than in the water. But people that don't think about this, that don't think through what they're saying, they'll say, well, bubbling within the broths of the ocean with some chemical soup. I'm sorry, chemicals destroy life. Soup destroys life. I'm sorry, our ancestor...
Soup destroys life? Oh my God. Oh, this is gold. Matt Powell is far funnier than he gives himself credit for.
That got eroded off of some granite rock.
Magic water.
Our ancestors were Adam and Eve. Y chromosome Adam, mitochondrial Eve. And we can verify that they lived in the distant past via mutation rates, and that there was a flood about 4,500 years ago. And I've shown the geological evidence of that. And so in closing, I just want to encourage people that are listening to do the research. Don't believe what I'm saying. Simply do the research yourself. And I think Mr. Jones would probably say the same thing. So, Mr. Jones, just want to say thanks for the invitation. And
Demon Orb, hello. How are you doing? How are you doing?
well, it got heated, but I did think it was a good discussion, and I want to.
You should have joined us. We've had such a good laugh up to now, Demon Orb. It's been brilliant.
Mr. Jones?
You too, Matt, and thank you for coming on and accepting the invitation to this discussion. I want to wish you and your family and everybody at Dinosaur Adventureland all the very best, and I really do mean that. Let me see. I've heard an awful lot of evolution bashing. I've heard a lot of Big Bang Theory bashing, Genesis bashing, but I've not heard any evidence so far for God, only time, space, and matter. But I just don't know. Yes, I've done research. Yes, I went to Sunday school when I was a kid, read the Bible, and I questioned the Bible when I was a kid. I asked, how can snakes talk, and and all the rest of it, the usual stuff when you're a child. But I've heard no evidence for and no evidence for creation. Only God did it, and it says it in the Bible that God did it. But God, the Bible is the word of God, but it's circular reasoning, and Matt said he has a problem with circular. Oh, certainly there is a problem with circular reasoning. So I honestly don't know. Like I say, I want to thank obviously Brett Keane for hosting this as well. And yes, I do encourage people to look into it, because there is no scientific evidence for the supernatural, and God is apparently supernatural. And there's no scientific evidence for this, none whatsoever. There is no scientific evidence in the Bible. The Bible is factually incorrect. The Bible describes the earth as flat, and obviously we know that the earth isn't flat. The Bible describes whales as fish, and we know that they are not fish. Why would God put whales in the sea and make them breathe the atmosphere? It seems crazy to me. But I'd just like to obviously just finish on this point. Yes, do your own research and come to your own conclusions. But don't. It's difficult. It's difficult. Yeah, just do your own research, come to your own conclusions, and I just wish everybody the best. Everybody in the side chat. I wish Matt and his family all the best. I wish Brett Keane and his family all the very best, and I hope you live long and prosperous lives, and and just do well in whatever you choose to do. And once again, thank you to everybody. Thanks to Matt, and thanks to Brett, and thanks to everybody in the side chat as well.
All right. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen, and God bless. All right. 10, 9.
Oh, it's playing
8.
again. Oh, it's playing again. So, what do we think? I mean, Gutsick Gibbon, yeah, we're having a chat. Gutsick Gibbon is, I think, one of the funniest people out there. And Hail Sagan, yeah. She is one of the funniest people out there. I've noticed these little slide digs that she has. I watched, do you know she had a debate with Kent Ovind, I think, a couple of years ago. And what Kent used to do was have the television in the background. And that's exactly what Erica did, Gutsick Gibbon. She did the same thing. And she's there, and she's got the television in the background, which I thought was absolutely fantastic, really, really funny. And she does the animations for the intro that she has. She does them all herself. Very, very talented, very, very clever. Quite cute, actually. You know, I'm far too old for her, and plus she's engaged and I'm engaged, so you know, doesn't matter anyway. So, what do we think? Who's who have we got? Who have we got? 18 people, 15 people now. That is fantastic. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Emma is good. Emma Thorne. Yeah, I've noticed. I noticed Emma Thorne before she did the Kent Orvin thing, because she just has a pop at people who just disagree with her. She's brilliant. Emma's fantastic. She's really, really good. Matt Powell has as much evidence as Nathan Oakley. Yeah, true. Yeah, I'll go along with that. Or any flat earther. Hey, yeah, go on then, second Miss Bob. I'll take that. There's lots of things. Yeah, Emma's funny. Yeah, Emma's quite funny. Not as funny as Erica though, I don't think. Because there's lots of. You've got to watch Erica again when she's in debates, and especially when she's doing videos. You've got to watch them like 2 or 3 times because there's things that you'll miss, and it's really, really good. She's really, really good. What was I saying? Yeah, what I was saying before was second best Bob is there was lots of things that I missed and I should have collared them first time round. Like I said last week, I said that the video of my opening statement that I prepared and recorded, etc., didn't work at the beginning of my discussion with Powell, and that sort of threw me off. And another thing that threw me off course was Matt's reluctance to answer any questions. I'm sure he's lurking in the side chat. I'm sure Brett Keane is, Mr. Manatee. Absolutely positive he's lurking. Although I don't know how to find out, but it doesn't matter anyway. Because Brett Keane's ego is the size of his stomach, really. Bless him. So Erica, fantastic in debates, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure I will. Thanks, Murray. Yeah, yeah, I'll get better. I've not debated for what, about 30 odd years, nearly 40 years now. I've not had a debate for nearly 40 years, so I was a bit out of practice, obviously. Well, I'd like to do it. I'd like to study it. I'd like to study evolution more. Why is Alexa kicking off here? Alexa, stop. Bitch. So I'd like to study it more. I'd like to study human evolution because I'm fascinated with that. Yep, a neutral moderator. Well, I've asked Brett Keane, and I've asked Brett Keane because he was, when I posted this discussion out, when I mirrored the discussion on my channel, Brett Keane started going on. I think he asked Dog Walker for a debate, and he asked a few others for a debate as well. And then when I asked Brett Keane for a debate on a neutral channel, he completely ignored me. I asked him again yesterday, and he's completely ignored me again. If you want to shut up Brett Keane and stop him from typing nonsense, just ask him for a debate on a neutral channel, and that will shut him up. Brett Keane is God TV Radio. He's the guy in the centre of your screen right now, Bob. Yeah, exactly, Earthly Skeptic. Yeah, thanks for doing that. Yeah, there was a segment where octopuses are not eukaryotes, and he's deleted that. So yeah, I watched it. Yeah, and he's deleted that from his version. Bless him, because he thinks that evolution teaches that just because I think squids and ink pens should be the same thing because they contain ink, which is absolutely not what evolution teaches at all. And I asked him last week when I reviewed this. I asked him and I said, "Is an ink pen a eukaryote? Is a pen a eukaryote?" Yeah, thanks, Sekimesmo, but it's about bloody time. I asked Matt Powell, I said, "Is an ink pen a eukaryote?" And he went, "It's a what?" And is it an ink pen a eukaryote? And he said, "Of course not." And he said, "Neither is an octopus." And I should have picked up on that, but I didn't. There's lots and lots of things. Yeah, he's good at editing. Well, I think that's the only thing he's really good at, isn't it? I mean, he's not good at anything else. He's certainly not good at comedy. That's for sure. And I hope he does more of these so-called pranks because they're not hilarious in the way that he thinks. They're certainly not hilarious in the way that he intended them to be. Yeah, he's read a paper. He's read headlines on a paper, hasn't he, Matt Powell? Octopuses are not eukaryotes because they came on the back of an asteroid or what have you. I mean, I've read that paper and it's not kind of stuff. Have you could become a channel member? I thought you were a channel member already. Oh, for 3 months, right. The one who looks like Dog the Bounty Hunter, yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. That is brilliant, that. Member for 3 months. Cry. Has it been that long, really? Really? Oh, Mrs. Jones is phoning me. Talk amongst yourselves for a minute. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry. Oh, where's me wipes? There we go. I'm gonna have. Oh, there we go. Is that better? That's better. Right, I'm gonna have to dash off. Mrs. Jones wants me. I've got to phone her back. So I do hope that everybody is going to feeling well. Thank you so much for the super chats. It really does mean the absolute world to me. Thanks for the 3-month thingy. Where's the super chats now? I can't remember who sent one. Earthly Skeptic definitely sent one. And yep, 199. Thank you so much. And where's the other one? There is another one somewhere, I believe, and I don't know where it's come from. Oh bugger! I don't know how to save them. But I'm very happy. So, I had the drinks, yeah. Oh, she's back again. Just one sec. Yes. There we go. I'm very sorry. Yeah, Mrs. Jones wants me. Apparently, my computer chair has arrived. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do a video with me building it. I'm going to make it available to patrons and channel members first. I hope you don't mind. So I'm going to make it available to you guys first, and then a couple of days later, I'm going to post it to everybody. So, Mrs. Jones, if you're engaged, I call her Mrs. Jones because I don't want to dox her or anything. I don't want to say her real name. But we've been together for about 6 years, so I don't want to. Obviously, I don't want to dox her, and she doesn't want to. She doesn't want a name on camera. But yeah, she doesn't want a name being known, if you will. So, which is fine, which is absolutely fine. So, thank you everybody especially for the super chats. Thank you so much. Who else am I saying goodbye to? Elon Musk. Thanks for stopping by. Dog Walker, thanks for stopping by. Steve White, thanks for stopping by. Earthly Skeptic, thanks for all your work. Thank you so much. Gregory Knightsky, thank you. Murray, I think I've mentioned. Elon Musk, everybody. Gregory Morris, thanks for popping in. Dog Walker, yeah. Turtle Moves, thanks for popping in. Let me see who else. Cheeky, thanks for the super chat. Second Best Bob, thank you so much for popping in. Bump. And Angel, thanks for popping in. So, Lauren, I'm going now. Anyway. Oh, Mrs. Jones in the title. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, thanks for popping in. In the comment section below, if you leave, or I don't know if you can, or leave a suggestion of a video that I can cover on next week's stream, if you will be so kind. That would be fantastic. That would be amazing. And please, everybody look after yourselves and just take care. Be healthy. And if you can't be bad,